Well, a very big welcome to you all. It's Natalie Ashdown here with you, and Paula Jones Hunt is joining me as well. Welcome back to the Coaching Cafe for 2024, where today we're discussing trends in coaching. And it's lovely to see everybody dialing in. We've got people dialing in from all around Australia and Singapore internationally as well. Welcome to you all. So before we begin, let me acknowledge the traditional owners, the custodians on the lands on which we're all meeting today, and their continuing connections to the land, the waters, the communities of Australia, and wherever you might be joining us from around the world. We pay our respects to you, to their elders past, present and emerging, and elders from Indigenous communities from around the world. Well, we are excited. As you know, we want to welcome you all back. We've already said that. Today, we're going to be discussing trends in coaching, trends that we're going to see in our workplace potentially in 2024, and how do we take a coaching approach to those trends? So if you are new to the Coaching Cafe, welcome. We are all about creating a community, having shared learning experiences, and making the most of thought-provoking conversations. And of course, we are excited because with our first Coaching Cafe back, all of our regulars are back, and it's great to see you. We will be offering free CCUs at the end of the session. As you know, just hang around for the end of the session and we will put up the CCU slide as well. So thanks for everyone who's saying hello. It is great to be back with you, and welcome back to you too, Paula. Thanks for joining us as always on the Coaching Cafe.
Very excited to be back.
So I'm going to kick off. We're trying to embrace technology. I want to kick off our Coaching Cafe today by doing a little bit of a poll and a quiz. And can you believe it? I've actually not done this before, which is pretty ridiculous. But here you go. Hopefully on your screen, you are seeing the questions?
I can see the questions.
Excellent. So the first question, feel free to answer. Excellent. Thank you. Look at us go for technology. Feel free to answer these fun questions. The first one is, how do you feel about the return of coaching cafes for 2024? Are you feeling great? Are you pleased that we're back? Are you excited? Or did you not realize that you actually clicked the link and you don't know what you're doing, or other? So feel free to click on the poll. Can you do that, Paula? Is it enabled?
Unfortunately, hosts and panelists can't vote.
No, we can't vote. Everyone else can vote.
I'm happy to verbalise mine. I'm excited.
That's great. We've got some responses coming in. Pleased that we're back. Some people are saying other. You can tell us how you feel in the chat box. Feel free to pop a message in the chat box and tell us how you're feeling about Coaching Cafe. This is just a bit of fun. Thankfully, no one's here because they didn't realise that they clicked the link. They're not supposed to be here. They thought it was another important meeting. Excellent. So we've got people saying, great, pleased to be back, excited. We've also got a question here around, what do you think will be the biggest trend in coaching in 2024? And I've offered you a few options here. You can also add other as well. So we've got some options here: the use of AI in coaching, the need to build engagement, issues about return to work and hybrid workplaces, how to build a culture in the hybrid work environment, burnout and mental health, building relationships and influencing, particularly in a hybrid world, talent attraction and retention, or the impact of cost of living on work and home life. Welcome, Trish, as a first timer. That's excellent. Welcome to have you. So this is, feel free if you think there's something else to pop a message into the chat box there with us as well. It's very interesting. Biggest trend, Paula, you'll be interested in trends in coaching. The biggest one at the moment, burnout and mental health, and then followed by the use of AI in coaching. So feel free to tell us if there's something else. I'll end the poll and then I think I can show you these results. Can you see the results on screen now?
I can't, no.
Okay, so we'll let people have a bit more of a play, and then we will. So that was question 2. And question 3 is, what other topics would you like us to cover in the Coaching Cafe? And you can put in a short answer there. So we will pick up your comments afterwards as well. So one fun question, one actually, what do you think the trends are? We're very keen to hear. And the other one is we're very keen to hear what topics you'd like to cover. Feel free to pop a message into the chat box if you need to. Let's just give this poll like another 15 seconds and we will reveal the results.
Is it, I mean, we're in the award seasons now. Is this like the award seasons and the winner is?
The Grammy goes to. Yeah, there we go. All right, let me end the poll. And I'm fairly sure, here we go. I can share the results. Can you see that? Can you see those results?
I can see the results.
Can everyone?
Oh.
You can. Excellent. Thank you, everyone, for telling me you can. That's excellent. So let's make it bigger for you. All right. So everyone is great or pleased that we're back or excited. That's really nice. Thank you. It was a bit of a fun poll. This one is interesting now. What do you think will be the biggest trend in coaching in 2024? We can see this was a multiple choice, so you could choose any of them. And the highest results there, 53% of you think that the use of AI in coaching will be a big trend, the biggest trend, followed by that the highest is actually burnout and mental health, 59% saying burnout and mental health. So there's quite a big percentage there. Other high ones, issues around return to work and hybrid, 30% of you think. And you've also said talent attraction and retention, 29% of you have said talent attraction and retention. Can you scroll up because you can't see 2 and 3? Can you see that? Can you see that now? Hopefully I'll make it bigger on my screen so you can see it. How about that? Does that help? Maybe if I...
Yes, I think individually too, you can scroll up and down the list.
Oh, can you? Okay, great. That's great.
Whatever that thing is called on the right-hand
you can roll
side.
it up, Ian. Yeah, welcome back. You can roll it up as well. There you go. And we've got lots of people have answered what we want to see as topics. So I think I can view the details. Might have to look at that afterwards. Alrighty, so you've said the use of AI in coaching, you've said burnout and mental health, and you suggested talent attraction and retention, issues around return to work and hybrid. So thank you for sharing all of those. I will share these results as well as we go along. So I'll stop sharing that now. And thank you, Guy. I think you're definitely on the money there. You've said the new right to disconnect laws are meant to combat burnout and mental health, but it will be interesting to see how employers go with this. And you're saying, thank you for sharing. You've got clients talking about the issue already. So yes, I think you're definitely onto something there. So let me go back to our PowerPoint and let's get into our own discussion around this. And as you have been doing, to interact with us, please just pop a message into the chat box. We're very keen to hear from you. So can you see my screen now? Paula, can you see my PowerPoint?
I can. I've got the agenda for today up.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody. Zoom polls have been around for a million years, and it's the first time I've been using it. So thanks for sticking with me. All right, let's go. What did we predict might be the trends? And one of the trends, you are on the money with us. This is what we think anyway. It's our opinion. The use of AI in coaching. So in no particular order, we want to present 3 trends to you today and have a think about over today, but over the next few weeks about how will we as coaches, as the alumni, approach these trends. We think that you're going to see these trends in the workplace. They're going to come out in our topics exactly like Guy said. So we want to be having a think about a bit of a reflection on it. And the first one is the use of AI in coaching. I've taken Albert Einstein's quote here: "I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots." Thank you, Albert Einstein. And here what we're talking about is the pros and cons of the use of AI in coaching. And if you type in AI in coaching into Google, You will get webinars, you'll get YouTube videos, you'll get lots of different articles, and there's lots of scholarly articles now about the use of AI in coaching. A lot of them are actually focused on the pros and cons. So the pros in terms of AI being accessible to coaching, being accessible to many more people, coaching being cheaper because you can interact with AI in terms of coaching, those kind of benefits, and the broad nature of the coaching when it comes to the use of AI. There is a couple of companies that have built AI and chat boxes, etc., into their coaching, and there's a number of companies that have built AI into the way they do coaching. So, for example, listening to a number of recordings, picking out the best pieces of those recordings, and then different people within the organization can listen to them, can interact. So for what I can see at the moment, it's not the coaching that you and I are doing, which of course requires human interaction. So a lot of the cons in the literature are around that human interaction, about how do we feel people, how do we use our intuition, how do we use our sixth sense about the right type of questions we need to ask. So a lot of the cons are all related to that need for human interaction as well. What I'm actually interested in, for what it's worth, and we'll be talking about this on forthcoming webinars as well, is how can we use AI to make us better coaches? So I've been experimenting with this and using ChatGPT about how can we make ourselves better coaches. And what I did recently is I took a transcript of my actual coaching recording, a coaching recording I did. The coaching recording was from some time ago, and it was rated at PCC level. So not MCC level. It wasn't the recording I submitted for MCC. It was PCC level. I took a snapshot of that actual coaching, the transcript, and I put it into ChatGPT. And I asked ChatGPT, analyze this coaching conversation and suggest better questions that the coach could have asked. And when we do our next Coaching Cafe on the use of AI, I will show you the results. I have to admit to you that the ChatGPT suggestions for what the coach could have done to ask better questions was excellent. And when I read it and I put my transcript alongside what ChatGPT suggested I could have done just with the transcript, it was actually better. So, and I've coached, as I said, a PCC level coaching recording. So what I'm interested in is how can we take what we're doing now and utilize AI to make us better coaches? And part of that is potentially using ChatGPT like I did to reflect on how could I have made this coaching? What else could I have done to make this coaching session better? Now, GPT doesn't have the context. It doesn't have the person in front of you. It doesn't have the emotions that they're experiencing that you're seeing potentially, the tone of the voice, all of these kind of things. But if you take just the pure transcript, there's a lot we can do. Paula, yeah, people are saying, I like it. People are saying fascinating. I did this many years ago for my MCC. I took my stock questions and I tried to make them better questions. And I'm actually interested in, I did that myself. I'm actually interested in what we can use ChatGPT for in this scenario. And Annie, you are right. The need for soft skills. We need to still have our soft skills, our empathy, our compassion, our creativity, our insights, our strategic mindedness, whatever strengths we bring to those coaching conversations. That's where the human interaction comes into it. Paula, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Got some claps going on. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I agree. If we look at AI from the perspective of will it replace coaches? You can't replace humans in human interaction, right? But and I agree with this whole idea about a coaching conversation is more than just the questions asked. It's what did I observe And when you think about the tone of someone's voice, someone can say, yes, I can do that. But if they were like, yes, I can do that, it's a very different perspective. And AI can't actually capture that at this point. But this concept of using AI to enhance your coaching, to finesse how you're asking questions, how you might reconstruct them, that I think is fascinating.
Absolutely. And there is actually, I'm just using ChatGPT at the moment, just playing around with it. There is AI that will actually pick up tone. But I am 100% with you here. People on the chat are saying, in the cases of self-coaching, thank you, Ian, this could be a step change. I agree. For self-coaching, what good coaching questions should I be asking myself as I go into this complex situation? Or so asking ChatGPT specific things around the context, and then what good questions I could ask. I've asked ChatGPT, and I'm testing and cross-testing. What are the best coaching questions I can ask for performance conversations? That's fine. Then you add to it that I've tried things like that won't make the person cry. So I'm trying to add things in to see, that, or you can add things in that say that might appear, that will ensure that I appear empathetic. So there's other ways you can tweak those questions. And so from a self-coaching or from a question bank, high potential. But as Eric says, active listening is irreplaceable. Coaching presence is irreplaceable. And active listening is irreplaceable. I agree with you. Annie says, holding the space. AI can't do that. That space, that presence that we have, that environment that we create, AI can't do that. Guy says, it's just a matter of time until they can, though. AI can tell from tone and phrasing whether people are lying. And he's given us a site to take a look at, and says it's eye-opening. So www.ixcoach.com and go to the dashboard. Thank you. This is great. This is what we want. We want to be going right. We can't ignore it. How can we utilize it? Ian says, so we can now have our IA assistant in the room with us along with Google. So throw out your workbooks, everybody. Just pop your AI. And
I'm pretty sure AI
would be.
I'm pretty sure AI can't necessarily give you empathy, though.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing that we can play with, isn't it? And Annie says IA would be a great coaching reflection resource for all of us. I think really that is exactly what I've been talking about, and I definitely agree with you there. Thank you. It's excellent. Thank you for all your comments. All right, so we're going to do a couple of webinars on this. It's absolutely fascinating. I think that we need to, it's been around for ages. So it's not like, oh, here we are. It's the first time we've ever heard about it. I think we need to dig into it, and we'll do that in our coaching cafes. The next trend I want to share with you is around that building engagement, addressing quiet quitting. We talked a lot about this last year. We talked a lot about the reasons why quiet quitting and low engagement's going on: lack of learning and repetitive work, lack of promotion, a fair chance for promotion, managers being unapproachable, lack of autonomy, lack of clear goals, lack of recognition. These reasons all came from the Gallup studies we looked at last year. Lack of respect, values misalignment, and lack of creativity for the work. So I truly do think that this topic of building engagement, if you remember, for those of you that are new, last year we ran a number of coaching cafes on this topic, and we talked about the 67% of our workforce in Australia, and it's a global statistic as well, that are engaged in quiet quitting. And I truly think it's something that we as an alumni can take up as a crusade to turn these figures around. Not like you're in that evangelistic crusade, more as this is a quiet, pardon the pun, something that we're focusing on, something that we can address as an alumni and as a coaching community of practice as well. I jumped forward, so go on, Paula. Yeah.
I was just going to say, interestingly, employee engagement and building engagement is also not something that's relatively new. But what it is something that evolves on a regular basis. So you have to really dig in and look at what is the reason for this and how can we make changes in this area. And I think you'll find that over time, coaching has been identified in lots of different reports as one really effective way to help build engagement.
Absolutely. There's a lot of conversations at the moment that building engagement, building a great hybrid environment, building a great culture is not just about pizza. Now, we all know that. We're not telling you anything you know. However, there's lots of organizations that are saying, well, let's put on pizza for everybody. And I think that happened a lot last year, potentially, back in 2022 as well, bribing people to come into the workplace. We all know, and it's not telling anyone on the line anything new, that our approach to coaching conversations that we have is what is going to build engagement over time. So all those things that you're seeing there about quiet quitting, our approach to coaching and the reframes on all of those is what's going to turn this around. So feel free to pop a message into the chat box. Tell us whether you agree, you don't agree. Thanks. I think it's Ian's jumped in and said the need for engagement has to be widely accepted by leadership and not overrun by other pressures, which gives rises to the right to disconnect laws. That's right. So it needs to be accepted, and you've written that in bold. Guy's jumped in and says the stats around quiet quitting are a great driver for selling our services to managers and organisational leaders. I agree with you. And the key to keeping people engaged is manager capability. I agree. Managers coaching. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. In the research, there is no doubt about what you've actually said, Guy. Yeah, thank you. All right, so we only wanted to present 3 trends to you today because we could go on for quite a bit. We will be revisiting engagement throughout the course of our coaching cafes over the next couple of weeks as well, seeing what we can do around that. The third trend I want to give you, and it was something that has come out of our quick poll there, and that is around burnout and employee well-being. And Annie's statement here about the importance of clarifying what one can control over what one can influence absolutely is going to become. In fact, Annie, I did a executive coaching session during the week, and that actual piece that you just said there, the importance of clarifying what you can control over what you can influence and what you can't control, that was the actual topic of the entire coaching conversation. We created a grid to make it clear about what the person was going to focus on. So you're absolutely on the money there as well. So we did see in our poll the biggest concern. Oh, sorry, someone else jumped in. Mara, thank you. My take is quiet quitting is people doing exactly what's expected of them. That's true. It is not the expectation for them to go above and beyond, perhaps a contributor to the burnout, well-being, mental health challenges facing by employees. Yes, the definition about quiet quitting is they're doing basically the minimum that's expected of them. The key here, though, is the disengagement. So I'm not bringing my best. We're not asking people to work nonstop. That's what the disconnect laws are about. It's about the approach to how people are perceiving their work, that they could bring more. They could bring more of their best, but they actually choose not to as well. And then it's what they're spending their time on as well. Guy says they're doing just enough not to get sacked. Yeah, so there's no discretionary effort that you'd get from an engaged workforce. That bringing my best. Yeah, thank you. So it does link through to burnout, employee, and mental well-being. And this is Glenn Close, who says what mental health needs is more sunlight, more candor, more unashamed conversations, and you have picked up, everyone. Thank you already. There's new legislation that this trend has been around for quite some time, and that's surviving instead of thriving, as Annie said. We have picked up that you wonder why you need legislation around the right to disconnect. This is where we are now. This is a trend that's been addressed now via legislation. Interestingly, toxic workplace behaviours and lack of psychological safety is driving that trend. Cost of living crisis, inflation, rising interest rates. again, what we want to do, and what we are all doing as an alumni, is bringing the coaching approach to mental health workplace conversations. And in particular, Paula, we've discussed a lot about addressing the barriers to communication as well, addressing the barriers to coaching. Did you want to jump in and say something about that as well?
Yeah, I think the other thing that's contributing to this is the fact that technology has made it so easy for us to be contacted outside of work hours. If you think people have got
Yeah.
their watches on their phones that are dinging the whole time, and even this idea that you go to a meeting and you're still checking your messages, even though you're at that meeting to engage with other people, the idea of putting your phone down and not looking at it, but people find it very difficult to do. And it's all connecting into this building. And there's a saying that says, if you want something done, give it to a busy person.
Mhm.
And it's that idea that engaged people and people who can get the work done get given more because they are capable of doing it, as opposed to looking at who else could do this, who else has time to do this, how could we empower someone to do this. And so the busy people get more busy and have to do more in order to do their job. And then what we create is this environment where that person burns out. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's looking in, digging into that says, for busy people, how do we embrace their engagement and their passions and their strengths, but don't overload them? And then how can we look at other people who might not be engaged, who might be in that quiet quitting space, and how do we build that engagement into them so that we get a bit more of a balance in there? And how do we help busy people have a better work-life balance? How do we help them disconnect? I think it's a great term. How do we help them disconnect to what's going on and to find the balance in that for them?
Yes, and as a busy person yourself, Paula, I'm hearing that passion in your voice as well. So I'm definitely acknowledging what you're saying as well. and and it is a great conversation that we can engage in around how do we do this from a coaching approach. So I do definitely appreciate what you said, and other people are appreciating that as well. Mara's jumped in to say the World Economic Forum has just released a video on Instagram on this very topic and the cost to organizations globally. So it's a big global topic. Annie has said, considering the use of devices in work hours as well as outside of work, the balance needs to be addressed. And I agree with you. Even myself, I was working on something, and I was really excited about something, and I was going to post a message on Teams. But I knew that if I posted a message on Teams to say that I was excited about something, everybody in the team would it'd be dinging on their phones and dinging on their watches. So you can say, well, what was I up doing working late in the first place? Okay, put that aside. But I was really focused on the fact that if I posted the message, even though I was excited, that would disrupt people's evenings, etc. So we have to think about this balance for sure. Guy says the highest performers do tend to get rewarded with extra work. Yes, absolutely, I agree. And Elizabeth says, even from childhood, we give examples to our younger generation about what we're doing there and whether we can disconnect. So that's a very interesting extra comment. Thank you, Elizabeth, around what we're role modeling to our kids as well. Well, everybody, we have gone a little bit over time, but that's okay. It's great to be back. As we mentioned, we are very keen to be engaging in these topics and these conversations with you around how we can make a difference to our workplace using coaching. Just in case you were wondering, here's a quick graph from McKinsey. This was a study of 14,500 people, their mental health and wellbeing survey from the McKinsey Health Institute. You can pick up the link there. And they're talking about toxic behaviour being the biggest driver of negative workplace outcomes, such as burnout and the intention to leave. So 73% of people said that toxic workplace behaviour was linked to their intention to leave. 70% of people said that toxic workplace behaviour was linked to burnout, distress, depression symptoms, and anxiety symptoms. So there's a lot that we have the opportunity to do here. And yes, I know some of the statistics are really shocking, and but there's lots we can do, and the job satisfaction, the manager interaction, the coaching, the building engagement that we're talking about, all aimed at addressing all of these trends. So thank you, everyone. It's been great to have you. Excuse me, let me just pause while I go. Paula, I'll just get you to finish off.
Yeah, I'm happy to finish off. So coming up, some of our programs, we have our Leader as Coach program, the Certificate 4 in Workplace and Business Coaching, Diploma of Organisational Coaching, and Mental Health First Aid. So for those people who are interested in and utilising mental health in coaching conversations, that's a great program to jump onto. And we look forward to seeing everybody at our next Coaching Cafe.
Thank you, everyone. Wonderful to see you. I just finished coughing up my lung, and I'll say goodbye for now. Enjoy your coaching. Thanks, everyone. Great to see you. Thank you for now.